Still shaking with his hand. What's going on, anything?
Nothing really.
Nothing exciting. That's a good thing.
Yeah,
I like it when it's not sunny.
I hear you. How you doing? Okay. What's happening? Oh, here. Nothing much, same old, same old. Oh, good. Enjoying life, you know.
There you go. That's what it's all about, right?
Okay.
Robert?
Patrick, they dug out a lot of.
Yeah, I heard something.
It was, they had it at Woolstein. Yeah, he said it was, yeah. It was at 9 o'clock this morning, and I had to work, and then I had the head thing. Yeah, he was good.
I was gone Sunday. Thank you. I was gone Sunday. Oh, did you either go? Yeah, the weather was real bad. I sort of mad at myself that I didn't go somewhere. Yeah, it was nice. So I'm going Wednesday.
It's a little nippy out there.
There you go.
Yeah, you started tonight.
Seriously.
Hey, you know, it wasn't Wednesday.
Right.
That helps.
Well, actually, it was warmer than Saturday, but it wasn't bad Sunday. It was warm today. It was supposed to be Sunday, 80 Monday. Yeah, except time change. It's supposed to be windy as hell. I'd rather play when it's colder and wind. Because that wind.
Should have that.
I woke up Wednesday, it's supposed to rain overnight and early in the morning. Of course, it's dry. It'll take a lot of water. Oh, it is. And we're playing Glen Eagle. Best if the greens are wet anyhow, because they're moving faster than pool tables now. They are.
Oh, that's the way they were at Sleepy Hollow.
It's like putting right here.
Yeah.
You had to go like this.
Okay, so someone is going.
I think so. I'll confirm it tomorrow.
Yeah, there's a lot of slope greens at Sleepy Hollow, and they were impossible.
That's,
Well, they're having,
we played Painesville Country Club last night. Their last 9 holes were like that. Every hole was up and down.
Hey, Jeff,
If you're on top, same with Glen Eagle's that way too. You're on top.
Yeah, forget
It's
about it.
murder. It's murder.
Yeah.
Don't say anything. Shh.
or we'll be here all night. Don't say it.
Okay.
Fan? Well, anyway.
Well, you know, usually they're doing it. Wow.
My report is quick.
That's crazy.
Wonder who's going first.
Yeah.
I told you he was gonna start opening at 1. I thought we'd never get done the way he started. He's asking stupid questions. What do you care?
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
He just wanted everybody to think that he knows everything. Oh, I know.
They're actually not.
I'm surprised. And he
The deal is, it's gonna be. Follow up.
Oh, I know.
Because it's city, it's, well, it's state.
Yeah, I didn't see her. That's what I said.
No, she didn't. She never.
Private companies, so better for the UH.
Yeah, well, she's retired now, actually.
She's kind of, well, there you go. She right at the diner.
She got it.
Yeah, that, yeah.
That went out to her whole CEO guy and signed really like
Watch with these computers. So I asked those same guys to go down and screw up. Let's said something we don't want to say. Say something, hey, you want to go there?
What time we got?
About that time. 3 minutes.
3 minutes? What we can do, we can be late, we can't be early.
I had to look away from that.
First reading, 7C.
I didn't have that.
They don't have a consent.
Swearing in hard take next meeting.
No, January.
Oh, sorry.
Both of them, right?
January. Yeah.
It's something for November 18th.
We
Oh, no, police officer.
We have a police officer on November 18th. A girl.
Another girl?
Yeah. Yes.
Well, I'll tell you, those been holding their own and then some.
Yeah, all three, even, who? Yeah, she's fantastic.
Gentlemen, how are you?
She's in the house. She lives in the house. Friday.
No, Steve Short, he owns
Wait.
In case there's any questions, we'll have a finance from that.
Oh, I don't know, we got 1 minute.
Oh,
I go by the official. We could be late, you can't be early. It's like an RTA bus. You can be late. Drive it 50 Since he started at 7. He started at 5.
He was when we started then. He was questioned.
There were no questions, so you
And then questions that.
You all here? Everybody here? Good evening. Yeah, welcome to the November 4th meeting of, the regular meeting of Bedford City Council. If you would please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Here.
Salvi,
Here.
Fluharty,
Here.
Smith,
Here.
Asbury,
Here.
Longino.
Here.
Council, you have the minutes of the work session of October 7th, 2024. Any corrections to that? Seeing none, can I have a motion for acceptance by Longino, second by Asbury? Call the roll, please.
Asbury,
Yes.
Longino.
Yes.
Cochi,
Yes.
Spinks,
Yes.
Salvi,
Yes.
Fluharty,
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Yeah, the minutes of the regular meeting of October 7th, 2024. Any corrections to that? Seeing none, can I have a motion for acceptance by Spinks, second by Fluharty? Call the roll, please.
Asbury,
Yes.
Longino.
Yes.
Cochi,
Yes.
Spinks,
Yes.
Salvi,
Yes.
Fluharty,
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
And you have the minutes of the work session of October 21st, 2024. Any corrections to those? Seeing none, motion for approval by Asbury, second by Smith. Call the roll, please.
Asbury,
Yes.
Longino.
Yes.
Cochi,
Yes.
Spinks,
Yes.
Salvi,
Yes.
Fluharty,
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
And you have the minutes of the regular meeting of October 21st, 2024. Any corrections to those? Seeing none, motion for acceptance by Spinks, second by Fluharty. Call the roll, please.
Asbury,
Yes.
Longino.
Yes.
Cochi,
Yes.
Spinks,
Yes.
Salvi,
Yes.
Fluharty,
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
And you have the minutes of the budget hearing of October 28th, 2024. Any corrections to that? Seeing none, motion for acceptance by Longino, second by Asbury. Call the roll, please.
Asbury,
Yes.
Longino.
Yes.
Cochi,
Yes.
Spinks,
Yes.
Salvi,
Yes.
Fluharty,
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Before we get into reports, I'll like to take the opportunity to go first. Because I know most of you are going to say the same thing, that we had number one, get out and vote tomorrow. It's important. Need everybody to have their voice heard. And like I always like to tell people, don't vote, don't complain. Because that's how you control the things. And so get out there and do it. Also, next, when is the 11th? Tuesday? Monday. Next Monday, the 11th, is Veterans Day, and there'll be a ceremony at Veterans Park, which is by the main crosswalk downtown Bedford, put on by the VFW to honor the fallen soldiers. It's always a nice ceremony if you can make it. It's 11 o'clock on the 11th. And also we had this past Saturday a dinner put on by the Eagles Club for a Blue Coat Officer of the Year celebration for the police and fire departments. And a congrats to the fire honoree was Stephanie Polachko, and the police honoree was Brandon Thompson. Both people very deserving of getting the award. He said the really important thing about that award, and the nice, satisfying thing about it, is that they were elected by their peers. The people that they work with day in and day out have recognized them, even knowing, like I say, the good, the bad, and the ugly about you, they still like them, and they picked them as their officers of the year, and we congratulate the two of them. Both fine people, and credits to our department. And on a sad note, former Bedford police officer Bob Chase passed away this weekend, and we want to send out condolences to his family. Bob was a really great guy, and I got to work with him, and he had a sense of humor that was second to none. We won't go into it all now, but may he rest in peace, and in peace to his family. And we'll start with the reports. Mr. Malice.
Thank you, Mayor. A couple brief items. I just wanted to share that we did have a pre-construction meeting for the Greencroft culvert project. That project is going to take 45 days to complete. Regular working hours for that project for the contractor will be 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. We have not issued a notice to proceed yet due to the contractor is waiting on the concrete culvert to arrive. It already has been ordered. It was actually ordered before the award because it is technically a 4 to 6 week lead time on that. Again, it has been ordered. We're thinking it may be in about 3 weeks. Once that does come in, though, we will go ahead and issue the notice to proceed, which will be the 45-day clock will start ticking. So I'll provide an update when we get to that point. Leaf collection is taking place. Again, please refrain from moving those leaves into the roadway. Keep those on your tree lawn. And just residents, be cognizant of that. Try to avoid parking on the street, parking in front of neighbors' properties. If our crews get down there, they're not going to be able to collect the leaves. We'll be making multiple passes every year. We usually hit every street 4 times. So again, please be patient with the crews. Our annual tree lighting ceremony is scheduled for November 27th at 6 p.m. So again, that is sharp. Activities will actually start probably shortly after 4:30 with ice. There'll be ice sculptures out there and other events taking place organized by city departments. Want to take a minute and congratulate, obviously, Brandon and Stephanie for being acknowledged as the Officer and Firefighter of the Year. Absolutely well deserved, and congratulations to both of them. And I would also like to congratulate Lieutenant Tim Grody, who was recently selected to become the new Assistant Fire Chief in the fire department. He'll be taking over for the current Assistant Chief, Dan Dobsloff, when he retires in January. We're starting to make these changes now to obviously ensure a seamless transition, which will absolutely take place. Both Tim and Lieutenant Harding, which will also be the new chief, they're going to do a great job. That end of report.
Thank you. Mr. Montillo.
No report tonight, other than congratulate everybody and sorry to the Chase family.
Ms. Howland.
Thank you, Mayor. No real report, except to congratulate the officers of the year.
Council. Mr. Asbury.
Thank you, Mayor. Like everyone else, I'd like to congratulate Officer Thompson and Firefighter Medic Balachko. It was a pretty good night until we heard the news that Bob Chase had passed away just after the awards were given out. I got to know Bob a little bit working as an auxiliary, and his sense of humor was top notch, we'll put it that way. So rest in peace, Bob. Condolences to family and friends. Voting is tomorrow. Polls open up at 6:30 a.m., go till 7:30 p.m., and I do believe the law is that if you are in line at the cutoff at 7:30 p.m., you are still eligible to vote. So get out there and vote. Expect long lines. My wife and I went downtown and voted early. Wasn't too bad down there, but I think there's going to be a big influx in the morning, so grab your favorite pumpkin spice latte and have a good time voting. I'm going to give you the wards here where they're voting. Wards 1, 3, and 6 voted Ellenwood. Ward 2 votes at the high school, and wards 4 and 5 voted Glendale. I wanted to bring up the mitten fence. Mitten fence was started 2-3 years ago by Bedford Downtown Alliance, and the idea is to, if you have new or gently used, clean mittens, hats, scarves, jackets, anything winter apparel, you can hang them on the fence that goes between Giannino's and Spirit Apotheosis. That's going to be starting November 27th. That's been taken over by the Recreation Department this year, and I guess there's a knitting club down there that has put a lot of work into making some nice things for this winter for people that can't afford them. So this will be starting on November 27th. And if you do have a contribution, you can actually go hang it yourself. I'm sure there will be some extra clothespins down there. Or you can present it to the Recreation Department or Mike and Laura at the Broadway Cyclery. That's all. End of report.
Mr. Longino.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. First, I want to talk about Bob Chase. I met him because he was on the SWAT team, and I was on the hostage negotiation team for the SEAL team. So I got to be around him, and some of the stuff he may say, you go, wow. So I'll just leave it at that. But he was a God-fearing man for sure. Very, very spiritual man. When I first met him, the first thing I told him, my neighborhood I grew up on, 116th, 131st area, he said, oh, that's the parish. And I'm like, I don't know, I'm not Catholic, but he knew the parish, he knew the priest there, so that was the kind of guy he was. But God rest his soul. Veterans Day, February 19th, 1986, that's when I joined the Air Force. So I just wanted to say happy Veterans Day to all my veterans and my two other Air Force buddies up here, Mr. Mayor and Mr. Smith. Not just saying we're the best branch, but
You agree.
yeah, all right, the best branch.
Yes, we are.
Though I love all my branches of the military, don't get me wrong. Wanted to also say, I won't be at the function because my fraternity, I'm in the military fraternity, we always march in the parade downtown. But I do love free stuff, so I said, saw the list, but I said, I'm not gonna go through the whole list, but if you're out there listening, make sure you hit Applebee's, Bob Evans, BW3s, California Pizza, Chick-fil-A, that's just a few, but it was a list of all the stuff that they are taking care of veterans, looking out for veterans. Halloween was great. My wife gave out $400 worth of candy, yeah, and ran out, but it was great. And I'm assuming there was no issues because we didn't hear anything, nothing, Mike. So I'm assuming that was great. Mike spoke of the leaves. I don't know if you mentioned, don't call, they'll come. You know, eventually. They came real quick, and I just put mine out the other day, and they came. But they'll come. They will come. So don't bother calling because it's not going to make them come any faster. They're going to come. They're going to get your leaves. Once again, we always talk about speeders. That's always something we talk about. At least something I always talk about because I'm always hearing about it. Watch your speed if you're out there. As far as the police officer and firefighter of the year win, it was great. They were representing everybody in council was there. I just had a little bit of trivia. Stephanie was the first female firefighter for Bedford, so I just wanted to make sure I mentioned that. And she had came to my house. One time I had an asthma attack, and she came there, and she came to my house, and I definitely remembered her and her kind words and helped me get through my asthma attack. But she was the first female firefighter, so. I'm sure I can keep going, but I won't, so I yield my time.
Mrs. Spinks.
Just want to condolences to Bob Chase's family too, and he was one of those guys, you knew when you saw him that he was going to come up and he was going to say something to make your day and make you laugh, or you just would shake your head. So condolences to his family. Also, Officer of the Year is always a fun thing to go to, and it was so good to see because we get to swear in the new guys, but we don't get to see them, like much. We'll see them out on the street when they start, but it was good. Our firefighters, the new young lady that's on the fire department, I think the last hire that we had, got to talk to them a little bit. I mean, they're out and running. They're already answering a bunch of calls and stuff, and I already had a couple of tough ones. The wreck that was on Rockside, one of our young girls answered to that, and that was pretty tough. But it's just such a good group of people, and I want to just shout out a big thank you. Every year this is put on by the Eagles, our very own Eagles here in Bedford on Broadway, and they donate, they give, what is it, Mike, about $5,000, I believe?
Yeah, they provide a $5,000 donation to both fire and PD,
Fireplace.
and then obviously other donations too.
And every year they're so gracious to give the Bedford Historical Society, they give us a check for $2,500, which is much needed and so appreciated. Me and my husband are both members there. And they go out, they do so much for the community. They also give to the food bank, they give to Meals on Wheels. So it's a very giving club. So just a big shout out to our local Eagles for doing that. A lot of the guys are veterans. Thank you to our veterans of council. I appreciate you guys. And let's see. happy anniversary to Mr. Fluharty and his lovely wife. She deserves an award. 45 years today?
46.
46, okay, all
counting?
right, okay, who's counting? Okay. Last week, and I spoke to Mike with this, and Mike, thanks for jumping on top of this, where there was a sewage spillage in Tinker's Creek over on, between, Thames and, Crestwell. Mike, thank you for responding to that. I sent pictures and it was pretty bad, and they got on top of it. Every year, Maple will put a treatment in there and it turns the brightest green you've ever seen. It doesn't smell. Well, this time I was like, oh, wait a minute, this is not the right kind of treatment. So, thank you for, Mike's always really good about and the guys are always good about jumping on stuff like that. Speeding, yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy everywhere. When you do, if you do see a car, I said this last council meeting, if you see this repeat or something, please try to get the license plate number, get the make of the cars, call the police. It's like on anything. We've also had some of the car places, they have these security systems that are very, very sensitive, and this loudspeaker goes off about your trespassing, and it's real loud. Well, they're real sensitive. And so please, don't call me. You can call me after work. Don't call me at 3 o'clock in the morning. Don't call me at 6 o'clock in the morning. When this happens, call our police because they document it. On anything that goes on, please call the police. If you see something that doesn't look right, call them. Because how we go about that is being able to do something about it. It's documented, so they can go back and say, well, we've got like 6 or 7 calls on this, and when the people say, oh, well, nobody let us know. Well, it's documented, so see something, say something, and in a report.
Mr. Selby? You're next. I said Mr. Selby.
Hear my name. I'm sorry. Good evening, everyone. Officers of the Year, congratulations to both Brandon Thompson and Stephanie Belashko. As the mayor stated, the officers were selected by their own departments, which is a good indicator that they have earned the respect of the people they work with. Thank you too to the Eagles Club and membership for hosting the event and once again donating funds for the benefit of both departments. Business Ordinance Guide. May I suggest the city prepare a Bedford-specific guide for commercial property owners and their tenants covering the most commonly violated city ordinances. The goal of this guide would be to increase voluntary compliance by increasing commercial property owners and their business tenants' understanding of how to comply with Bedford's ordinances. Increasing voluntary compliance would save city staff time by reducing the number of violations requiring follow-up and allow more resources to be diverted to the enforcement of the most egregious ordinance violators. Northfield Road Bridge Painting Inquiry. This past week I followed up with residents' concern about the sloppy, incomplete painting of the walkway curb on Northfield Road Bridge. I spoke with the Northfield Bridge Project painting subcontractor who informed me that the product people believe is the final coat of paint is actually a pre-painting product to resist corrosion. The entire bridge and walkway and unpainted part of the walkway curb will get a final uniform coat of paint, but that won't begin until next spring 2025 due to the approaching winter weather. Barrington Apartments and the Rockside Road traffic light. I visited and observed the traffic pattern with a Barrington apartment resident who suggested the need for a traffic light on Rockside Road near the Amplified dispensary entrance and the Barrington apartment complex entrance on the north side of Rockside Road. The resident's primary complaint is that due to the volume of traffic on Rockside, the substantial traffic turning into the amplified parking lot, not to mention the speed of traffic. It is very difficult for Barrington residents to safely exit their complex. Mike, with this issue of adding a traffic light or other traffic control device on Rockside Road fall under the jurisdiction of the Cuyahoga County Department of Public Works?
We would coordinate with them and make that inquiry, but if it was warranted,
Thank you.
which that hasn't been determined yet.
Thank you. Samuel Marcus Trust Commercial Property, 506 Northfield Road. Mike, would you please give Ward 2 residents and I an update on the status of the city's enforcement of the numerous violations by the landlord and tenant at this property?
The property owner was issued their initial notice. They were issued, I believe, their third and final. It goes through a number of steps. Anytime we deal with property maintenance or ordinance violations on both residential and commercial, we issue first, second, and then we have to provide a third and final before they have to appear in Bedford Municipal Court.
Thank you. $2 million flushed down Bedford's toilets. At a recent city budget meeting, I asked Bedford Service Director what residents can do to help save the city money. The Service Director, without hesitation, said $200,000 per year could be saved if residents would stop flushing wipes and similar equipment clogging items down toilets. That adds up to $2 million in unnecessary repairs to Bedford's wastewater treatment system since 2004. Taft Park. Since my last report, I had to call BPD once to have officers investigate a trespassing incident at the park. I also had 2 Ward 2 residents tell me this week of suspicious daytime and nighttime vehicle traffic at Taft Park. The same vehicle is alleged to enter the Taft parking lot several times a day and engage other vehicles that pull into Taft Park on or about the same time, in which it is believed hand-to-hand transactions are completed, after which the vehicles exit the park. The vehicle occupants are believed to be involved in illegal narcotics transactions. May I suggest the city return the asphalt parking lot to its original multi-purpose and ice rink during the winter months. The conversion would help eliminate its current public nuisance use and return an affordable, family-friendly winter recreation opportunity to residents that residents used to enjoy. I also had a few questions this week from residents who had disappointed children or grandchildren after some of the playground equipment was removed. I told them that it was my understanding that the equipment will be replaced. Mike, would you like to provide residents with additional details about changes at the playground?
Yeah, we have to start with, if you recall, we were awarded a grant and a matching grant. The city also has funds budgeted for the complete replacement of the playground equipment. In order to save costs, we're doing a lot of the removal of what's already there. And that has to be removed and prepped before the company will come in and install it. So there is going to be a little bit of a downtime, but ultimately the product will be a brand new playground piece of equipment for the children. Thank you.
The Universal Circus at Zach Super Center property. Mike, do you know if Universal Circus has contacted Barrington Apartments management regarding security and traffic control during the time the circus will be in town? That was another concern of Barrington Apartment residents who I've spoken with.
No, I don't believe they contacted them. I mean, they're going to be at the corner, but they're not going to be encroaching on that property. Part of the requirements to permit the circus from taking place at the end of November, obviously, is to have adequate amount of police and fire personnel. They are responsible for staffing all of those. And then initially, those staff members will be stationed at strategic places on the outside of the facility, the tent. And then when the shows go on, they will move, a number of them will move inside. So they are required, they're gonna be providing their security, but there's no intentions to be encroaching on other property owners' space, so they wouldn't necessarily need to meet with them.
Thank you. Willard House Apartments. Mike, has the Willard House Apartment Management kept you up to date on the status of the impact of the broken elevators issue on residents at the Willard House Apartment?
Yes, we've been in communication with them. They provided us with the initial payment of 50% of the improvements to replace those elevators. Total project cost is gonna exceed $750,000. The issue is there is approximately a 6-month lead time on all of the equipment, materials, and probably another 4 to 6 months for installation. We've expressed our concerns and provided recommendations to the ownership group on how to address staffing on the floors north of the 3rd floor. We've shared our recommendations. They have, the ownership has been very responsive to the city of Bedford. They're offering a number of different accommodations to all tenants.
Yeah, have people had to move?
So
That's my understanding.
They've offered a number of different solutions to those tenants. Obviously, I don't think no one anticipated those going down. And obviously, they need to be custom fabricated, the replacement elevators. Like I said, it's north of $750,000. Rental discounts have been made available every month until the project is completed for those wishing to stay. They've also offered to relocate individuals. They own a number of different properties, so they're offering as much as they possibly can. I know there are some people that know I just want to stay here. Well, can't magically make those elevators get replaced in a month.
So they weren't forced to move?
Not that I'm aware of.
Thank you. Buyer beware furnace thermostat scam. Now that we're approaching winter and people are finding out their furnaces are not working, be aware that quality thermostats can be purchased for $50 and less if you were told your thermostat needs to be replaced. I recently had a furnace repair person come to my home and try to sell me a furnace thermostat for $350, and that was discounted. And that included a 25% discount. The identical thermostat can be purchased for $30 retail. I told the scammer repairman to leave. I encourage you to do the same and find an honest repairman. My city email. My city computer is being repaired. If residents need to contact me, please call me at 440-232-8964, since I have not had access to my city email account. Thank you. End of report.
Thank you. Mr. Fluharty.
Thank you. I think it's been pretty much said. I just want to talk about Bob Chase a little bit. Bob and I known each other since right out of high school. I played on a few summer baseball teams with him. Bob was a good baseball player, and it just was funny that he became a police officer here in Bedford. When he came here, he says, I only know one person in Bedford, and of course that was me. So he became a mainstay in this town. You talk about Bob's humor, and I could tell you 3 million stories, and when you're on a baseball field, it gets even more funnier than what he can say in front of you at City Hall. But he was a character and a great ball player, a great police officer, and a good friend. And rest in peace, Bob. End of report.
Thank you. Mr. Smith.
Good evening. First and foremost, I'd like to express my condolences to the Chase family. May God continue to bless and keep you in his ever-loving arms. Secondly, tomorrow is election day. All I can say is vote. As the mayor said, if you don't vote, don't complain. Especially come here to city council and start to complain about the people that you did not vote for when you could have. Congratulations to Stephanie, as being Fireman of the Year. Congratulations to Brandon, Police of the Year. I met Stephanie for the first time on Saturday. And I must say, hearing about her or seeing her, she's a beast. She's a beast. When she retires or whatever, Bedford is going to have a hard time replacing her. From my understanding, she's the trainer for EMS. She has held the agility test record for a number of years. Even the guys cannot beat her at what she does. So, I mean, have a fireman like that, a female, and she's showing up the guys. That should tell you something. Brandon, I've seen him out and around, but mostly Brandon does the dance. He does this dance, the children's dance at the rec center, and he gets out there. He's there. He has a purpose, and I must say that the children, the mothers, are real satisfied with him because he goes every year. What is that called? Is that mother-son dance or whatever? But he's there and he's participating. My thing, I always tell Mike that that's one of the things that I want to see our officers do, community policing. If you see our children out playing basketball, park your vehicle down the street, walk down, talk to them, shoot a couple hoops with them. You know, it doesn't take that much. Police always get that beat up. Oh, they're nothing, they're not this. Or you get one bad police officer and people associate with the whole department. So I say to, like I said to Brandon, congratulations. I know what you do, what you have done. Keep the good work up. End of report.
Thank you. Let's get on to business. First one.
Sure. Can we get a motion to accept the Board of Zoning Appeals decision to approve Deontay Dunhan of Advanced Base Concrete LLC to build a shed in a concrete slab in the side yard at 27 Avalon Drive in Bedford, Ohio? Can we get a motion to that effect?
By Smith, second by Asbury. For approval, correct?
Yes, sir.
Call the roll.
Asbury?
Yes.
Longino?
Yes.
Cochee?
Yes.
Spinks?
Yes.
Salvi?
Yes.
Fluharty?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Ordinance number, or excuse me, we have another motion.
Can we get a motion to accept the BZA's decision to approve Shore Realty Group LLC to appeal the building, their appeal of the building commissioner's determination of a noncompliance with the proposed business at 794 Broadway Avenue, so as to permit the business to be there.
We need a motion to accept the decision of the zoning appeals committee by Spinks, second by Fluharty. Call the roll, please.
Asbury?
Yes.
Longino?
Yes.
Cochee?
Yes.
Spinks?
Yes.
Salvi?
Yes.
Fluharty?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Ordinance number 60-24.
It's an ordinance authorizing the city manager to enter into a contract with Northfield Power Equipment to purchase a Boss Snow Raider and declaring an emergency.
Motion for suspension by Longino, second by Asbury. Call the roll, please.
Asbury?
Yes.
Longino?
Yes.
Cochee?
Yes.
Spinks?
Yes.
Salvi?
Yes.
Fluharty?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Motion for third and final by Fluharty, second by Spinks. Mike?
Thank you, Mayor. This is a piece of equipment for the municipal complex for snow removal. We've previously utilizing a piece of equipment purchased in 2003 when we moved into the facility. It's time consuming. It does not work to clear the necessary walks as efficiently as possible. We're looking to upgrade this. We'll be utilizing funds from what we can sell the existing piece of equipment for with the attachments, which is an old John Deere tractor, and then the remaining funds will come out of the building department's municipal complex budget from 2024 that was unspent.
Thank you. Questions? Call the roll, please.
Asbury?
Yes.
Longino?
Yes.
Cochee?
Yes.
Spinks?
Yes.
Salvi?
Yes.
Fluharty?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Ordinance number 61-24.
Is an ordinance providing for the adoption of new material, new matter in the codified ordinances of Bedford to approve, adopt, and enact the October 2024 replacement pages to our ordinances, to repeal certain ordinance in conflict therewith or deemed obsolete and declaring an emergency.
I have a motion for suspension. Spinks, second by Fluharty. Call the roll, please.
Asbury?
Yes.
Longino?
Yes.
Cochee?
Yes.
Spinks?
Yes.
Salvi?
Yes.
Fluharty?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Motion for third and final by Smith, second by Asbury. This is just what we do 3-4 times a year to clean up the books, stuff we have, ordinances and that we pass during the year. Our what's the company? Yeah.
The codifiers.
Yeah, the codifiers, they update them so our records are up to date, so that's what this involves. Call the roll, please.
Asbury?
Yes.
Longino?
Yes.
Cochee?
Yes.
Spinks?
Yes.
Salvi?
Yes.
Fluharty?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Ordinance number 62-24.
Is an ordinance to make appropriations for current expenses and expenditures of the city of Bedford for the year 2025 and declaring an emergency.
I believe it's our wish to put this on first reading. I have a motion for such by Fluharty, second by Spinks. Before we call a roll, Mike, you want to just give Jennifer, give a quick.
Yeah, sure, Mayor. This is to approve the budget for 2025. We are currently still in the process of reviewing, but we prefer 3 readings over the next 4 meetings remaining in the year. Thank you.
Thank you. Call the roll, please.
Asbury?
Yes.
Longino?
Yes.
Cochee?
Yes.
Spinks?
Yes.
Salvi?
Yes.
Fluharty?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Ordinance number 63-24.
Amending ordinance number 9747-19 pertaining to section 1105-03 entitled Fees, Deposits, and Charges regarding the recreation centers and declaring an emergency.
And again, we want to put this on first reading. Can I have a motion for such by Longino, second by Smith? Before we call the roll, Mike, you want to touch on what?
Thank you, Mayor. We last adjusted the fee structure for the use of the rooms down at the community center 5 years ago. We spoke with City Council earlier this year about the need to review these rates and make an adjustment that would be effective January of 2025. We are proposing some slight changes to the rate for the gymnasium rental, our multi-purpose room rental, which is kind of like a double-sized classroom, and then a single classroom. And those rates are approximately a $25 an hour increase.
Thank you. Call the roll, please.
Asbury?
Yes.
Longino?
Yes.
Cochee?
Yes.
Spinks?
Yes.
Salvi?
Yes.
Fluharty?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
And we come to the hearing of citizens. If you wish to speak, please come forward, state your name, your address, and your comment.
So for the future, 15 Charles Street. My question, well, first of all, I would like to say, in the future, I don't know why we have to say our address, but with so many things going on, and to me, the world is like really crazy. People are very irate. I just wanted to ask, could we consider not having to give our address? Because if you guys really want it, you have it, but I think it would be something to consider. And I just wanted to say that. The next question I have is property at 115 Northfield. It was that building next to the veterinarian, there's the landscaping, and then that building in between. There was a business, I believe they purchased it, and I think the conflict was, it was a 4-unit, and you guys only approved it for a 2-unit. And from what I was told, and I already know, I mean, common sense is that previously it had 4 tenants in it, and now it can only have 2. Financially, I don't see how they would make money. I mean, I'm quite sure they bought it for income and investment, and to go from 4 tenants to 2 tenants, it's not feasible, so they're not doing anything with it. And so now we have another piece of property deteriorating, and it's going pretty fast. I know you were over there looking at the veterinarian building at the block.
I just want to clarify something real quick. It's not sitting because it's not going to be profitable. They've been communicating with the law director as well as the building department as far as plan review. There's codes that need to be followed, so it's not sitting because they don't think it's, we've had an ongoing discussion with the property owner and their attorney, and they're taking the steps needed to do that. They actually went to the BZA, they've had to modify their plans, so there's been active communication, and we believe that they'll get to the point when they are gonna rinse that out, but it's not because we're not letting it be a 4-unit. That's not an accurate statement. I just wanted to clarify that.
Well, that was what I was told, and you can drive by it and actually see there's siding coming off, it's starting to deteriorate. And by me living there, I mean, I already have one building that I'm having great patience with, the veterinarian place being torn out, but to see another piece of property going through the same thing, it's a problem to me, because I live by it. It's an eyesore, and it's our city. So I don't know. I hear what you're saying, and I respect that. But at the same time, take a look over there. You'll see what I'm talking about.
I totally agree with you, and just, we're where we're at because the city took action. Unfortunately, I know that it's frustrating when things don't happen quickly, but the reason we were able to get this, to get it to the BZA, to get it modified to the steps needed to, the city actually stepped in from the building department and the legal side of things and forced action on this. So I know it's not moving as quickly as, but we are closer today than we ever were to get that property repurposed. The previous owner, and just full disclosure, they tried to take a commercial building and turn it into an apartment building. And it absolutely was illegal. And we stepped in to address that. That's kind of how we got to where we were. I just don't want it to be implied that the city's not doing anything, because that's not
apartment. Well, I live there, and there were people, there were tenants there. So, I mean, there were tenants there, and then the property was maintained, and it was fine. That's all I'm saying. So, whatever the conflict is, it's starting to be another eyesore. Then the next question, the park, Interstate, was renamed. Who is that person?
Bill Cosgrove?
Yes.
He grew up right next to it, local boy, made good. He's the chairman and CEO of Union Home Mortgage. And he's been a big supporter of the city through financial. He did sporting stuff for the kids this summer. He hasn't forgotten where he came from.
Okay. He lived at one of the homes?
Sits on Chester.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. I noticed it's been renamed, but they've rechanged the purposes where they're saying no barbecuing. And what is that about?
We've always had various rules that were at the Ellenwood Community Center. We had park rules that have always been in place. What we did is we outlined all of those rules for all of our community parks, and we've included those signage that is at every single park in the city. All of those were our Parks and Recreation Department. We met with our fire department, and we met with our police department to outline some of the rules that should be put in place. This way, if we have to respond accordingly, we can address it. So as far as the barbecuing, we permit those at like the Ellenwood Community Center where there's already established grills there. From a fire safety standpoint, you don't want people bringing in their own portable that could lead to a fire hazard.
We've never had an issue there. We've never had an issue there. So I'm not understanding why we're taking, just family opportunities to engage in a positive way from the park. I thank you for putting the benches there, but if you can recall, couple years ago, I did my 60th birthday. I wanted to do it on the square and to invite the community, because that's what I do on my birthday. I say harmony and unity in my community. I put it out and give free food to the community. And to say now that I can't even do that on my own street, when I purchased a home, because it had the park, and that was something that I would do with the kids in the neighborhood to get to know them. That's how I know all the kids. I'm not understanding why something so simple, so family-friendly is taken away, because we've never had an issue there. And so I guess if I have to barbecue, I just say, okay, I gotta want to pay the fee just to do something that I can't do on the square, and I respect that, but right on my street or park, where we've been doing it and we haven't had an issue, I'm not understanding it. It's like, Frank Smith said, he joked about the basketball and the police. That would be really nice if we could. We have no basketball hoops in the city of Bedford. I have 4 grandsons. And to me, what are we doing? We're taking basketball hoops, now we're taking the barbecue pits? I'm not understanding it, because guess what? Basketball is what saved a young girl I know who was going down the wrong road. And basketball is what brought her back. And she's a very successful married woman, went to college because of basketball. These minor issues that are being done to take away fun, where, inflation it's up there. These are things that don't cost anything. And in the city of Bedford, we can't even do it. So I guess I'll just have to be ready to pay the fee, because I will be barbecuing over there. Because you said don't do it on the town, and I won't, but right on my street where I purchased that house, every place I lived when I was in Maple, it was on Oakwood, on the street, Stafford. And that's how I get to meet the community, and especially the kids. And it's been working. It's been working. I don't have to call the police, thank God, because I build relationships with these kids. And so to put little things like that in the way of building relationship in the community, it's like we're tearing our community down in a subtle way that I don't think you're aware of it. And it saddens me. It saddens me. So, and then the next thing I want to know, do we have any plans for the Nature Stone building? What are we going to do with it?
It's not our building. It's privately owned, and it's for sale.
Okay, and the reason I asked that, because the last council meeting I was here, I think you guys denied that. It was a mental health organization, and I don't know if you noticed, but we have a lot of people walking around in our city with mental health issues. A lot of them. And we're building the Department of Youth Services. We're bringing them in our city. Don't you think that those families who have kids there are going to need some kind of connection, some agencies working with them?
Yeah, we offered to help them find another place.
I'm just saying. It's like all of these things to build and strengthen family, we're closing doors, and
No, we have no issue with what they want to do.
do we offer them somewhere else?
We offered to help them find a place, so.
Because, I don't know, just to say no, and
No,
It's too
we didn't
much
just
going
say no.
on.
We offered.
it's just too much going on when I see all these mental health people walking around in our city. We could have referred to right over there or somewhere. If we say no, say yes to something. That's all I'm saying. To bring services and resources to our city, especially when we're bringing a Department of Youth Services in our city. Again, I worked with the YMCA. I ran the teen court program. You have to have all hands on deck when you are bringing these people into the city with these problems. I don't have a problem with them coming, but let's be able to go to the park and cook some hot dogs. Let's play some hoop. We just want to lock them up.
Thank you.
across the street. But I'm also a little concerned about the circus coming. If there's gonna be extra police out on Rockside Road, because there's a lot of speeders. I think the circus is till 11 o'clock. And of course, you have to go down Rockside Road to get on the freeway 271 right over there. And, it's a pretty busy street there. There's a lot of speeders going there, especially in the evening, late evening. And I have seen some policemen across the street, but really not recently. And I just wonder if you're gonna beef up the police a little bit during the circus.
We will have a special attention in the area.
Okay.
We're not actually, we're working with the circus now to make sure that all of the required spaces are filled. Those spaces that will be filled with off-duty officers, either from the city or neighboring communities. But our regular shift and our staff on that schedule will have a special attention for that, especially during the prior and after.
Like 11 o'clock-ish, midnight-ish, Friday night after football games, with a football game there. Well, I don't know if football will be going on. Okay, we appreciate that, thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Motion for adjournment by Spinks, second by Fluharty. Call the roll, please.
Asbury?
Yes.
Longino?
Yes.
Cochee?
Yes.
Spinks?
Yes.
Selby?
Yes.
Fluharty?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Thank you all for coming.